Hey, Mike.
What?
Who's got next?
Welcome back to the Blacktop, y'all, where I always got next. And man, oh man, we had two huge trades that went down today. The trade market is starting to heat up as we're getting closer to the trade deadline on Thursday. I expect way more trades to go down between now and the Thursday deadline. But before we get into all that, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to my channel, man. This is definitely where y'all want to be at if you love basketball content. Now, just looked up the deal on the first trade with CJ McCollum going to New Orleans in exchange for, I think it was Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Josh Hart, a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and I can't remember the other kid's name. But for Portland, man, I hate this trade. I don't think it was a good trade for them. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a nice young wing. He's pretty decent defender. He can score, but CJ McCollum, man, he's been a guy that has been a well-known guy. Let me not say well-known, a well-respected player around the league with his scoring ability. So I don't think they got enough in return for this deal, man. I really don't. I feel like Portland, they're trying to hit the reset button, and I think all signs are pointing to a Dame trade come probably this offseason. I don't think he's going to be moved before the deadline, but come this offseason, potentially look for Dame to get moved. It looks like they're going to be hitting the reset button. I think Anthony Simons, they have a lot of faith in him, a lot of trust in him to be that kind of building block. Let's see what else, they decide to do in the offseason. I think in that deal also, Larry Nance was included, and I can't remember off the top of my head. So it was Larry Nance and Tony Snell in that deal that was going to New Orleans with CJ McCollum. Now, for New Orleans, man, I actually love this deal. I think that is an excellent trade for New Orleans to pair CJ McCollum with Brandon Ingram and a healthy Zion whenever he gets back. Now, I know CJ McCollum is out right now, I think with that collapsed lung. I'm not sure when he's expected back. I haven't really read too much up on that. I know he's been out, I think, since like December 4th or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when he gets back with a healthy Brandon Ingram and a healthy Zion, I think New Orleans, if he can get back this year, I think they can maybe look to maybe squeeze a play-in spot and make a run. Not make a run. Let me stop all that. But to squeeze a play-in spot to see if they can maybe get a 7 or an 8 seed. So we'll see what that's gonna turn out to be. I like the deal for New Orleans. Definitely a head scratcher for the Portland Trailblazers, man. I don't really get it, but hey, I'm not a GM. I'm just a spectator, and I'm just here analyzing. So let's talk about the second trade a little bit. With Sabonis going to the Kings, man, in exchange for Tyrese Halliburton, I think it was Tristan Thompson and Buddy Hield. And I'm not sure what other draft picks were included. I know Sabonis is going with Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday, which, in my opinion, man, I know a lot of Kings fans have hated this deal and are scratching their head at it. But I kind of like this move for the Sacramento Kings, man. I think De'Aaron Fox getting a really good post scorer, an established all-star in Sabonis, who is an excellent playmaker, good shooter for being a big man, can stretch the floor. I think this is kind of what De'Aaron Fox needed. Him and Halliburton has just not worked out. They're very similar players. I don't know, both young guards. It just hasn't worked out the way I think the Kings hoped it to. Pairing him with De'Aaron Fox, we can see what Marvin Bagley turns out to be. I know he has not panned out, but for the Kings, I think if they start Sabonis and start Marvin Bagley as their front court, I think they got something kind of working down there in Sacramento. So I personally like this deal for the Kings. Again, that's just my opinion. I think it moves the needle slightly for the Kings. Maybe they can make a push for the play-in spot, play-in tournament, but I don't think this makes them a guaranteed playoff team by any means, because they still lack a lot of depth. They still got some guys that are potentially in some trade rumors. I know they were potentially looking to move Harrison Barnes. Rashawn Holmes has been on the trade block, and maybe they don't hold on to Marvin Bagley. We'll see what happens with that. But on the other side, for the Pacers, I think this is now the move where it's official. They're hitting the reset button. They're starting over, and moving your best player, I think, is setting the tone for that. We just saw Karis LeVert trade, what, 2 days ago, yesterday, whatever it was. So the Pacers, man, they're selling. They are a selling team right now, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Miles Turner. I think he is going to be moved before the deadline. Malcolm Brogdon, I know there hasn't been any rumors around him recently, but let's see if they potentially, look to put a deal in place for him. I think they are just selling the entire team, man, and trying to restart completely. And if you're the Pacers organization, man, I do get it. They have not been a competitive team the last, 2 years or so. They have been extremely disappointing. They're kind of always just that above average, low tiers, low seeded playoff team if they do make the playoffs. So I get hitting the reset button, starting fresh, moving your best player. They got a young guard with Tyrese Halliburton back in that deal. So I think that's going to be their building block. And I like Tyrese Halliburton. I like his game. Good, pretty good shooter. Can get to the rim. He's got a good size. Pause. But I think he has a good future in this league as a young guard. So I don't mind the move for the Pacers. So in my opinion, man, I think this is a pretty equal trade. Again, my opinion. Y'all can disagree if you'd like. Sabonis going to the Kings, I feel like it's a pretty good move for them. And on the other end, I think it's a decent move bringing in Tyrese Halliburton. So I'm really excited, man, to see what type of trades we see between now and Thursday's deadline. I think this is just the beginning. I think we're in for definitely some big names potentially getting moved. Maybe James Harden, maybe Ben Simmons. I doubt it, but we'll see. And some other guys that have been in trade rumors. So I don't know, man. We'll see come Thursday. And let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Who won both of these deals? Do you think either team won? And let me know what y'all think. And I will catch y'all next episode.